Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Yes, it's another Sunday. We're starting our week again. You're starting your week watching a video with me. Unless you're watching this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, then please don't be confused by that comment on there. Got some great things to show, but first, I'm really touched by the amount of comments I got off Facebook on people worrying about my sanity. I posted that I went into a record store on Tuesday and I left not buying a thing. And I felt really good about myself. And look at me, look what I just did. I didn't buy anything. There's just nothing that said, you need to have this, Steve. So I left. Well, then Friday I went to a record store, and the money I saved on Tuesday, I kind of blew it all, and away it went. They had some great kind of world type music. It was just some different things. So I was like, oh well, there it goes. I'm okay. That just goes to show I'm back. I'm healthy now, so that's important. My co-host Cat says hi. Of course, he doesn't give a crap because he's a cat, so he left. So he don't care about you guys. Out he went. So no Cat once again. Taking off vacation this week, heading down to Orlando for a week, leaving about midweek. Guess we're going to go to Boca Raton to see an aunt, and then I have some friends there that have a timeshare down in Orlando, so we're just going to hang out with them. Zero plans. Now I've watched Dick Dixieland Farms, Chris from Dixieland Farms. He does all these videos on Disneyland, Disney World, and they're really interesting. I really enjoy them. I just enjoy watching his channel. So I thought that might be fun, but we got no plans to go anywhere, do nothing. How about that? I'm going to Orlando, and I don't got a freaking plan to do anything. I'm going to go swimming. That's what I'm going to do. And next time you see me, I'll be a bronze suntan god. Still, there will be a broadcast next Sunday. There will be a broadcast next Sunday. Okay, well, let's get going here. Last week I showed Ringo Death Star. I have a download card for that Ringo Death Star, so if anybody's interested, please let me know. I will send you that information, okay? Finished a book. Wow, I read this thing fast. This was called Never a Dull Moment, 1971, and the author was David, it's nice and big, David Hepworth here. This looked at 1971, the importance of that year. It looked at it month by month and the albums that came out. And some of the backstories to these albums. This was just an incredibly interesting book. I flew through this thing. This book was so good that I thought, don't I have this? And by God, I did have it already. I liked this book so much I'd bought 2 of them. I do not have my books logged in anything, and I wind up buying 2 of them on music ones. I'm getting a little bit of a stack that eventually, for those that love to read, I've got some VCLT. I'm getting books. But this really was fascinating on how it looked at 1971. It looked at singer-songwriters, beginning of the punk movement, anything from Jonathan Richman to what was going on to the beginning of Bowie. It was a fascinating year. Music was totally changing. 1971 was a new generation coming on. I couldn't recommend this book more. If you can find it, I found them at half-price books for like $9. It was one of the better books that I have read. So interesting. I will use so much of this. In fact, I would love to do a whole video series just on this 1971 and share some of this information. And if I ever get through my new crap, I will do that. Alrighty, so we're going to begin today. Why not? Let's just start with something I can't pronounce, okay? Let's just do it. I think I looked through most of my music today and I can pronounce a lot of it. In my mind, I can pronounce it. But let's begin with this one. We'll take this off. It's a little shiny. And it's Bulgarians. The Bulgarians. I just got this in. This is a new album that just came out. It just came out a couple weeks ago. It is a Brazilian psych band. Brand new. Nice colored vinyl. It even comes with a kind of a stupid poster. I don't really get it. And it has all the lyrics. But like I said, it's Brazilian, so if you are not great in Portuguese, them their lyrics ain't going to help you a whole lot, are they? So the Bulgarians, they started in 2013 by Fernando Aniendo and a guy named Ferez, something like that, 2013. This is Brazilian psych, but don't think of the Tropicala movement from the 70s. It's not like that. It's more like Tame Impala, his kind of psych that you would find on an album like that. It is, some of it, it's kind of a kaleidoscope of a kaleidoscope of grooves. I mean, there's some really interesting grooves going on here. It's pleasant. It's a cerebral trip. This is not a mind-blowing, brain-melting kind of dots and loops. Is showing some stuff he called molecule-melting, brain-exploding music. Probably not going to happen. It is a cerebral trip. The vocals are very nice. You hear pop sensibility, but then when you listen to this, listen underneath, there is some really complex stuff going on. It's really, really fascinating. I want to play a snippet of it because it won't be blocked, supposedly. At times, I found it to be a little bit sleepy. Let's be honest. I thought some of it was a little bit quiet. Could have been a little bit more, but overall, it was really. It was very interesting music, something really kind of different, and I was happy to pick this up. So, just came out, Bulgarians out of Brazil, Psych, new kind of Psych. Here's another thing. This just came out, and this is a box set. If Jamie Cottle was here, I watch all his videos, but I gotta understand how he does the whole flipping the book thing. This is a 7 CD set on the composer Johan Johannsson from Iceland, and this goes through his early works. Now, Johan Johannsson was born in '69, and he actually died last year. Hey kids, important to not mix cocaine with medication. It's not good for you. And Johan found that thing out. But Johannsson, again, in Iceland, in the late 80s, he had a shoegaze band. And the name of the shoegaze band was called, what did he call that shoegaze band? Daisy Hill Puppy Farm. The Daisy Hill Puppy Farm. It's a perfect Icelandic name, I think. Then he formed a think tank and a music label and began to compose. And really, this is what he found. He liked to take classical music and add electronics to it, part of the new classicists that are out there. He's done a lot of film soundtrack scores. The movie Arrival and the movie Theory of Everything are both, and he was nominated for Academies and Golden Globes for those, but both of those are his works. What he'd love to do is he would take like classical strings and he would put them through a digital filter. This digital filter would deconstruct the music and the songs, and then he would reassemble it his own way. I mean, really fascinating stuff that he was doing. It's classical, it's ambient, it's experimental. And again, these 7 CDs, there's going to be a second box set coming out, but this is of his early works, and it's on Deutsche Grammophon. I really enjoy this. This is great background music as I'm working up in my office. I can put this thing on and concentrate. So Johan Johannsson, a complete list of his works. Here's something fun. Some of you guys, Dead Wax 66, Randy, Vinyl Richie, maybe you guys all have this. Back from the Grave. Rockin' 1966 Punkers. I found this when I was in Omaha. I was over in Bellevue, Nebraska. And it is a compilation of a bunch of things from 1966. I don't know if you watch, if you don't, check out Norman Maslow, Mazzy. He just did a series when he was 14 years old back in the mid-60s. He had his own band. He played guitar, and they recorded a 45, and he plays it and he talks about it on there. So when I saw 66, I thought, hey, that's kind of like Mazzy's pickup band maybe was on there. But no, he was not on here. But we have the Rats, the One-Way Streets, Swamp Rats, Chords, the Bel Airs, the Fabs, Alarm Clocks. I'm going to play a selection called Elite. Fun music. This is just fun. Why'd I buy it? Look at that cover. How could I not buy that just because of that cover? But really happy pickup that I found that there. Also, this album came out in 2006. Never picked it up. It was David Gilmour's third solo album. He had put out 2 solo albums, but his last one was in 1984, About Face. Don't much care for that one. His very first one, I think self-titled, David Gilmour, I thought was really good. About Face is too 80-ish. This thing, it came out. It had some mixed reviews. I just had never bought it. I'm glad I finally did. I enjoyed this album. It's just amazing. It's only his third studio album. He had David Crosby, Graham Nash, Jules Holland came in, and of course Richard Wright was on here playing the organ. You can really hear him on the keys. Really nice stuff. It comes with a poster or a book. That's a poster. Man, this thing's big. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Beautiful poster. And the lyrics are on the back. What I like about David Gilmour is he takes the sound of, he takes his guitar. He doesn't shred. His guitar is about, you play a note, you bend that note. That note becomes the voice. It starts to say something. When people are just blasting through the guitar up and down, they're just throwing out notes. They're making noise. They're creating excitement. Don't get me wrong. It gets people excited. But this creates more emotion. His guitar just speaks. But again, it's just, he plays things slowly. One note, bah, but he just brings it up, brings it down. This was a beautiful album, and I'm really glad I finally picked it up. I thought I had it in CD, but I actually had it. I just love the guitar playing David Gilmour. It really speaks. So great pickup on there. A couple soundtracks, don't really need to record store day stuff. I'm just filing crap. You know what, folks? I do put away records. I don't even show them to you. Oh God, forget it. I need to get through this stuff. But, you know, one of them I bought on record store day was Lost in Translation. I love this. This was a great movie, but this soundtrack is absolutely incredible. You know, I had it in CD for years. Still have it in CD. I thought absolutely beautiful, incredible music from Lost in Translation. So that was one of my happy pickups, record store day. I also had this in CD, but I hadn't picked it up. I just said I'll pick it up in album form. The Crow. Never seen the movie. I have hundreds of soundtracks on CD, and I just pick them up because I liked the music on there. Never saw the movies, just liked the music on, and this was one of them. So I saw it. Oh, what the hell! I'll just pick that up. It's a soundtrack. All right, let's get into Junior Wells. Look at that. How about Southside Blues Jam? As you can see, we got Otis Spann, Buddy Guy, and Lewis Myers on here. In the background, what you hear is Junior Wells, and this is Junior Wells, the Hoodoo Man Blues. This is his first album, CD in my case, and by far many consider his best and absolute classic of the blues. If you're interested in blues, this is a great one to start with. So Junior Wells, born in, actually his name is Amos Wells Blackmore, I believe. Amos Wells Blackmore Jr. So he took the Junior and took the middle name Wells, became Junior Wells. Born in 34, but he passed in 98. He was one of the pioneers of the amplified harmonica, one of the very first to start using that. He says, in fact, there's liner notes in here, he talks about the story where he went into a pawn shop and there was a harmonica and he wanted that. Well, it was $2, which he didn't have. So instead of going to school, he went out and he found a job and he worked for a week. I think he was doing deliveries, whatever. It was really hard work. And when I say you work for a week, you work for 7 days. Well, at the end of that week, he got $1.50. That was it. The harmonica was $2. So he went back in and he looked at the harmonica and the guy took it out. He says, $2. He goes, well, can I buy it for $1.50? Nope, $2. Well, the guy went to the back but left the harmonica on the counter. Junior Wells left his $1.50 there, grabbed the harmonica and took off. He got arrested. In court. Yes, we're going to court for this $2 harmonica. That was back probably in the 50s, so that was more money. The judge, asked him. He goes, I really wanted this harmonica, but only $1.50. Judge asked him, well, play the harmonica for me. So Junior picked it up and played. Judge grabbed 50 cents from his pocket, gave it to the shop owner, says case dismissed, and it never went onto his record. Isn't that a neat story? So it's Junior Wells. This is his second live album that he put out, and I believe this one came out in, golly, 1969, possibly. His first live, again, second live album with pretty much the same people. Buddy Guy's playing on bass here. Otis Spann is on piano. Lewis Myers is on guitar. Of course, Junior Wells. This one, they go into longer jams, so the instrumentals go longer on this one. The first live album he did was a little shorter, kind of your basic blues. This one, they begin to jam more, which made it a little different and more interesting. It's like being in the South Side, in one of the little blues joints there. Really great music, Junior Wells. Max Richter. The guy said it right. I did. All right, Max Richter. This is his third album. Think about this. So the Bulgarians, that was his third album. David Gilmour, that's his third album. Here's Max Richter's third album, and I got another third album coming at you. This is the Day of Threes, I guess, on the show. So his third album, this thing came out in, let me try to think, 2006. 2006 it came out. Just more beautiful, part of that new classical movement. Max Richter, when he actually started, he played in the Future Sounds of London, which was really big in the 90s. I got a couple of their CDs, and I was unaware of that, but he was doing some key works for them. This has strings, piano, electronics, and it has some just some different amplified sounds on there, especially static. It is very quiet. It's very kind of interpretive. And they use bursts of, and there's human voices in here, but they're going through like a radio, so they have kind of the static, so you get some poetry being read, which is a little bit weird. It isn't like my favorite thing, but I do like what Max Richter puts out, his orchestrator works with the electronics. It's just, it's hard to get a lot of his albums because they go out of print and they are not generally cheap. Again, this is on Deutsche Grammophon. This is a reissue that was made, which is why I was able to get it. So, songs from before. If you like this new classical stuff, that especially a lot have been showing, Johan Johannsson, you would like this. Very neat. Blind By, which about half of mine are, I saw that artwork, and I saw Brasilia. Brasilia, you go, oh man, there might be some Latin kind of stuff. It's from Johan Klemmer. So I picked this thing up. I think I showed it on Beth's B-Side Records contest. So John Klemmer, he's born in Chicago in '46. He's still out there going around, though I don't know how much music he really makes anymore. At age 5, he learned to play the guitar. At age 11, he picked up the alto sax, and at high school, he took up the tenor sax. This guy was so talented, he went to the Art Institute of Chicago, and from there, he played in the different ensembles, musical ensembles, but he was also doing artwork. He was in drama. He was all over. Really, really talented guy. Some guys say that this was one of the leaders of smooth jazz. And if you listen to this thing, it very much is smooth jazz. Now, Klemmer, he's put out just dozens of albums. He's worked with many, many people. He's played on a lot of pop albums, rock albums. He's been their saxophone player, so he's been everywhere. Now I think he does more just composing in that, and I haven't seen anything new of his. I didn't much care for it. And, you know, this is supposed to have more of a Latin feel. I understand what Latin feel is. I get Latin feel because it's a favorite of mine, and I didn't hear it. I'm just not a big smooth jazz guy. Now, if you like smooth jazz, you would probably like this. If you have someone coming over and you just want to just make a romantic setting, smooth jazz. John Klemmer, he might be your man. And, you know, this is the first, so I can't say, you know, John Klemmer sucks because I've only listened to one of many albums he's produced. But this one, personally, it did nothing for me. Final one, here we go. And we're done. It's happening live, The Outsiders. So The Outsiders, these guys are from Cleveland. They started as an R&B band called the Starlighters in 1958. Well, in 1965, they did a 45, and the 45 calls Time Won't Let Me. Time won't let me, whoa, time won't let me, oh. You know that song, right? Right. Columbia heard that and goes, man, I like these guys. Sign them up. And so they did. And they put out the album, Time Won't Let Me. Well, it's on Capitol. Got the whole rainbow thing. This is their third album that came out. Now, by this time, you know, they were going through a lot of different band members, and in fact, 8 different members from when they were the Starfires, when they were the Starfires, 8 different members became part of this group. And it's kind of, hey, your turn. Well, this was a live album, and this thing absolutely blows. I mean, I'm talking blows as stinks. God, I was pissed off. Why? It's not live. And so these guys, they played stripped down versions of their song Then they put on a bunch of screaming girls. They went to a Beatles concert, I swear to God, and took the same screaming girls and put them on here. And it is so lame how they put them on. Then they have an announcer announcing the songs, and then the band members announce each other. It is the most awful piece of garbage. If you like the album, hey, I apologize, and you like that album, then I have nothing against you. For me, it was that sucked. I paid, holy crap, well, 18, I got 30% off of that. Hey, I got a deal on it. I paid over $10 for this thing. Oh my God. I mean, you know what? The music could be great. The music could be great on this thing if some ding dong, but if it was the mid 60s, but if some idiot hadn't piped in those fake vocals, it would have been fine. It would have been great. But you know what? It was a different time. People thought differently, and they thought this was the way to go. And they were trying to make this thing the Beatles. And it wasn't. This was their third album. There we go. There's another third album. They broke up after this. Why? Because the album stunk so bad, probably no one bought it or whatever, and so they broke up. I don't know. So, The Outsiders. I would love to find the original. The one with Time Will Let Me. It's a garage rock classic. When it came down to this thing, I don't know what the heck it was, so disappointed. Paid too much. Happens, right? Generally on blind buys, I do pretty good. Couple blind buys there, just didn't do it for me. So see, I show the good and the bad. It's not all about, wow, that's all great stuff. There's some crap too in there, my opinion. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out for me once again. I really do appreciate it. You subscribers, thank you. If you're just watching for the first time and you actually went all the way to the end, well, damn you, just subscribe to the darn channel, would you? Your comments, as always, appreciated. It's so nice to talk with many of you. Every single week you comment and you write, I'll write back to you. Really do enjoy that. It's the pleasure of doing this. I started a... what's that called? That Instagram. Yeah, I popped on an Instagram button. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I still don't get Instagram. I just put a picture. That's it. What's it do for me? What's it doing for me? I don't know. You know, I get Facebook. I get it. I'm not getting Instagram yet. I'm making it far too complicated. But I got that down below. If you want to see Instagram, you want to see what I'm doing, pop on that thing. What the hell? I don't care. I don't understand it that much. So, everyone have a great week. So good to see you. Next time, I'll be... well, no, I gotta do a pre-recorded show, but I'll be really I'll be suntanned or extremely red, one of those. But down in Orlando, I'll say hi to Mickey if I see him walking around. I don't know if I'll be bothered going to see him. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Bye.